Meet Sarah. Sarah works incredibly hard for her money. Over the last few months, she skipped a few dinners out, canceled the subscription she wasn't using, and finally managed to save up exactly $1,000. Right now, that $1,000 is sitting in a standard bank savings account, and Sarah has a nagging feeling in her stomach. She knows inflation is quietly eating away at her purchasing power. She knows a cup of coffee costs twice what it did 5 years ago. She knows she should probably invest this money, but she is terrified. She turns on the news and sees red arrows. She hears stories about market crashes. She thinks $1,000 isn't even enough to start. And she is dead scared of picking the wrong stock and losing all her hard-earned cash. If you feel exactly like Sarah right now, take a deep breath. You are in the right place. In this video, I am going to show you how to take that $1,000 and build a bulletproof portfolio starting today. I am going to explain exactly what an ETF is without using confusing Wall Street jargon. I am going to show you how to buy one step by step. And at the end of this video, I am going to reveal exactly how much that $1,000 could be worth in 30 years. I'll even show you a bonus aggressive portfolio that changes the math completely. Let's get to work. Before Sarah can invest her $1,000, she needs to understand what she is actually buying. The financial industry loves to make things sound complicated so they can charge you money to explain it. Let's cut through the noise. An ETF stands for Exchange Traded Fund, but you can just think of it as a basket. That's it. It's just a basket. If Sarah takes her $1,000 and buys a single stock, like Apple or Tesla, she is putting all her eggs in one company's basket. If that single company has a terrible year, or a scandal, or makes a bad product, Sarah loses her money. The risk is huge. An ETF fixes this. Instead of buying one company, an ETF is a basket that holds hundreds or even thousands of different companies all at once. When you buy one share of an ETF, you are instantly buying a tiny piece of every single company inside that basket. If one company goes bankrupt, you barely even feel it, because the other 400 companies hold the basket up. Instant diversification. Now, you might be thinking, isn't that just a mutual fund? Close, but no. A mutual fund is also a basket, but it has a guy in a fancy suit managing it. That manager decides what goes into the basket and what comes out. And for that privilege, he charges you a massive fee, usually around 1 to 2% every single year. That might not sound like a lot, but over 20 or 30 years, that 1% fee will steal literally tens of thousands of dollars from your future wealth. The fund manager buys his yacht using your retirement money. An ETF does not have a manager. It's run by a computer algorithm that simply tracks a list of companies. Because there's no human manager to pay, the fees are practically zero. You keep your money. Sarah is starting to feel better. The basket idea makes sense. But there are thousands of ETFs out there. How does she know which ones are safe? Sarah uses 3 golden rules before she puts a single dollar on the line. Rule number 1, the expense ratio must be under 0.2%. The expense ratio is the annual fee the ETF charges you to exist. Remember, we hate fees. If an ETF charges an expense ratio of 0.03%, that means they only take $3 for every $10,000 invested. That's incredibly cheap. If it's over 0.2%, Sarah walks away. Rule number 2, know exactly what the index is. 2 ETFs might be both called growth funds, but hold completely different things. One might hold software companies, while another holds biotech experiments. Sarah refuses to buy an ETF unless she looks inside the basket and understands exactly what companies she is buying. Rule number 3, it must have a bulletproof track record. Sarah is terrified of market crashes, so she only buys ETFs that track indexes which have survived terrible financial disasters. She wants a history that proves the fund survived the 2008 housing crash and the 2020 pandemic. She doesn't want the hottest new trend. She wants boring, reliable survival. With her 3 golden rules in hand, Sarah is ready to build her portfolio. But wait, she only has $1,000. Some of the best ETFs cost $300 or $400 for a single share. How can she diversify with so little? This brings us to a crucial modern investing tool called fractional shares. 10 years ago, you had to buy whole shares. Not anymore. Today, brokerages let you buy a fraction or a slice of a share. Think of it like a pizza. You don't have to buy the whole pie. You can just buy $5 worth of a slice. This means Sarah's $1,000 is more than enough to build a world-class, fully diversified portfolio. Sarah is going to divide her $1,000 across 3 specific ETFs. Each one has a very specific job. ETF number 1 is VOO. This is the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. Its job is the anchor. VOO tracks the 500 largest, most profitable companies in the United States: Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Walmart, Visa. By buying VOO, Sarah is essentially betting that the American economy will continue to grow over the long term. It's the bedrock of her portfolio. Sarah allocates 50% of her money here. That's $500. ETF number 2 is QQQM. This is the Invesco NASDAQ 100 ETF. Its job is the growth engine. While VOO owns a little bit of everything, QQQM is heavily focused on the top 100 innovative technology companies. It's packed with artificial intelligence, software, and hardware giants. Tech grows faster than the rest of the economy, which gives Sarah's portfolio a massive boost in speed. We use QQQM instead of its older brother QQQ because the expense ratio is cheaper. Sarah allocates 30% of her money here. That's $300. ETF number 3 is VXUS. This is the Vanguard Total International Stock ETF. Its job is the safety net. The United States has dominated the stock market for the last decade, but it won't always be that way. VXUS holds over 8,000 companies located entirely outside of the US. Companies in Japan, Europe, Australia, and emerging markets. If the American economy slows down, this international ETF provides a safety net to keep her portfolio balanced. Sarah allocates her final 20% here. That's $200. $500 in the anchor, $300 in the growth engine, $200 in the safety net. Sarah has her plan. Now, how does she actually press the buttons? Most finance videos skip this part, leaving you to fend for yourself. Let's walk through it step by step. Step 1. Sarah needs to open a brokerage account. This is just a special type of bank account designed for holding investments. She opens her laptop and goes to Fidelity, Vanguard, or Charles Schwab. All 3 are phenomenal, entirely free, and allow fractional shares. Step 2. She links her regular bank checking account to her new brokerage account and clicks Transfer. She moves her $1,000 over. It usually takes 1 to 3 business days for the money to settle. Step 3. Once the cash arrives, she logs into the app. She goes to the search bar and types the letters VOO. She selects Buy. Because her brokerage allows fractional shares, she doesn't type in the number of shares. She simply types in the dollar amount, $500. She hits Confirm. She repeats this process, $300 into QQQM, $200 into VXUS. But before she closes the app, she does one final incredibly important thing. She goes into her account settings and turns on a feature called DRIP. That stands for Dividend Reinvestment Plan. Many of the companies in Sarah's ETFs will pay her a small cash bonus every few months just for owning them. This is called a dividend. By turning on DRIP, Sarah tells the computer, "Do not give me this cash. Automatically use it to buy me more tiny fractions of the ETFs." This creates a snowball effect. Her ETFs pay her dividends, which buy more ETFs, which then pay her even more dividends next time. It's a completely automated wealth-building machine. The money is invested, the DRIP is turned on. Now comes the absolute hardest part of investing. Sarah has to do absolutely nothing. Human psychology is our worst enemy in investing.
Sarah is going to want to check her app every single morning. She is going to want to see if she made $5 today. And inevitably, the stock market is going to crash. It is a mathematical certainty. Maybe next year, or maybe in 5 years, the market will drop 20 or 30%. Sarah will see her $1,000 shrink to $700. Her heart will race. The news anchors will scream that the economy is ending. Every instinct in her body will tell her to sell, to protect whatever is left. If she sells, she loses. The stock market goes down temporarily, but it always goes up permanently. Every single market crash in American history has eventually been followed by record-breaking new all-time highs. The only people who actually lose money are the ones who panic and sell at the bottom. Sarah's job is to close the app, ignore the news, and go live her life. She only logs in once a year to make sure her percentages haven't drifted too far from her 50-30-20 split. If they have, she rebalances. That is it. So what happens if Sarah successfully does nothing for decades? Let's look at the math on her single, one-time investment of $1,000. Historically, a blended portfolio like this returns around 10 to 11% per year on average over long time horizons. Let's use an average annual return of 10.5% to be conservative with our growth engine. At the end of year 1, Sarah logs in. Her account is worth about $1,105. She might feel disappointed. $100 in a year? That doesn't feel like wealth. But compounding starts slow. It is barely a spark. She holds. At year 10, Sarah logs in. Her $1,000 has grown to roughly $2,714. She hasn't added a single penny of her own money since day 1. Her money has more than doubled just by sitting there. The snowball is rolling. At year 20, she logs in. The account sits at $7,366. The growth is accelerating now. The interest is making its own interest. At year 30, Sarah reaches retirement age and looks at that original $1,000 investment. It is now worth roughly $20,990. Her initial $1,000 turned into nearly $21,000, all from a single decision she made 30 years ago, taking 5 minutes on her phone. That is the magic of compound interest. But what if Sarah wanted to take on more risk? What if she didn't care about a safety net and was willing to ride a wild, volatile roller coaster in exchange for maximum growth? This is the aggressive bonus portfolio. Instead of the international safety net, Sarah removes VXUS entirely. She replaces it with VGT. This is the Vanguard Information Technology ETF. VGT is heavily concentrated on pure technology. No banks, no healthcare, no international safety, just pure, unadulterated American tech power. If she swaps her 20% into VGT, her blended average historical return pushes closer to 13 or 14%. Let's look at 30 years at a 13.5% average return. That same single $1,000 investment would explode to over $44,000 in 30 years, more than double the starter portfolio. The catch: when the tech sector crashes, it crashes violently. VGT will drop significantly harder during a bad year. If Sarah cannot stomach watching her portfolio get cut in half during a recession without panicking, the aggressive portfolio is not for her. Now, Sarah has the exact framework. She knows the rules, she knows the math, and she knows how to click the buttons. But frankly, everything we just talked about is completely useless if you end up picking the wrong ETFs for your specific age and timeline. The 3 funds we use today are incredible, but they are just one way to build a portfolio. If you don't know the exact funds that fit your personal financial situation, you are going to leave tens of thousands of dollars on the table. You need to know the specific funds that work for right now. Click the video on the screen right now titled $1,000 to Start, the only 3 ETFs I would buy right now. I break down exactly which tickers to target for maximum efficiency. Click that video and I'll see you over there.